reporting a one-year deal, $25 million for Philip Rivers to join the Indianapolis Colts. Ian Rappaport, you have the floor.
Yeah, and this is one, Rich, that was really several days in the making. And not only that, several weeks in the making, ever since it became clear that the Los Angeles Chargers were moving on from Philip Rivers. This was the guy that the Indianapolis Colts wanted. And it's not just that he's a veteran quarterback who's had a lot of success. There's so much familiarity on this staff. You have Frank Reich, the head coach. You have Nick Sirianni, the offensive coordinator. They have worked with Philip Rivers in the past. They did so in San Diego when they were the San Diego Chargers. The verbiage is the same. The language is the same. Rivers is going to come right in and understand everything about the offense. And today, given the coronavirus and NFL facilities shutting down, having someone who can come in and have familiarity is even more important. This is the guy the Colts wanted from the very beginning, and he is going to get a one-year deal worth $25 million that is all guaranteed, Rich.
And it really is remarkable, Ian. I mean, 1 year ago, right now, we were all assuming that Andrew Luck was getting set to quarterback the Indianapolis Colts in the 2019 season, for which they had a Super Bowl dream. Instead, it was Jacoby Brissett, who was performing so well until his knee unfortunately gave way in a game against the Pittsburgh Steelers. Wasn't the same again. And now Philip Rivers, once upon a time with the San Diego Chargers, then Los Angeles Chargers, now the Indianapolis Colts. So just 1 year. Is there anything to read into that, Ian?
The only thing to read into it is that, let's say Rivers goes out, Rich, and has a really, really good year, and the Indianapolis Colts want to bring him back. The franchise tag is available. So it is a one-year deal, but the next option would basically, or the next year would basically be based on the franchise tag, and their option would be to tag him or to not and let him be a free agent again. They don't need to spread the cap hit over a couple years. They got a lot of cap space. They have been budgeting for this. They also, from what I understand, have enough to keep Jacoby Brissett. I know this probably sounds crazy to have two quarterbacks making so much money. They do have the cap space, and at this point right now, it seems they would like to keep both Rivers and Brissett.
And again, on a day in which Tom Brady Instagrams out that he and the Patriots are done after 20 years, and Drew Brees, the man who Rivers replaced in San Diego, announces that he's signing a 2-year, $50 million deal with the New Orleans Saints. Thank you, Ian. We now face the fact that Philip Rivers is moving on weeks after Eli Manning, who he was traded for, retires. Now Philip is going to be walking into the building with Eli's brother having a statue in front, coming off of one of his worst statistical seasons. As you could see, a significant number of interceptions, a lot of ball security issues. Daniel Jeremiah and Joe Thomas joining us right now. And Daniel, you saw that up close and personal last year from your radio booth, sitting next to our buddy Matt Money Smith, as you do every single time the Chargers take the field. What do you think of this maneuver and the one-year deal and all of that?
I said the other day I would be shocked if he wasn't an Indianapolis Colt. I thought it was the obvious fit for all parties. And I think once you saw the trade to bring in DeForest Buckner to trade that first-round pick, it signaled to me this Colts team is trying to make a push right now. And Philip Rivers is a right-now quarterback. It also is interesting. I thought for a while maybe they would draft a quarterback in the first round and sign Rivers. Now that's out. They have no first-round pick. So I know it's just a one-year deal, but as Ian mentioned, this could very easily turn into a 2-year deal with the franchise tag if Rivers plays as well as he hopes to and as well as the Colts hopes he plays this year.
Joe, what do you think, brother?
Yeah, I think this is a great move for both Philip Rivers and the Indianapolis Colts. Like DJ just mentioned, Frank Reich and Nick Sirianni were with Philip Rivers when he was in San Diego. He had a great deal of success with him. So it's going to be easy for him to slide into this system, pick up right where he left off when they were with them in San Diego. It's a team that's right now built for a championship, and that's why you go after a veteran quarterback like a Philip Rivers, a guy that did have a down year last year, but it wasn't because his skill set was waning. It was because they had some confidence issues with offensive line play that led to confidence issues at quarterback and led to some bad decision makings from Philip Rivers' point of view, because he was trying to push the ball and make things happen in a lot of close games down the stretch. But he should be able to erase all of that moving to Indianapolis this year. And the Colts are banking that this is the team that's built for a championship, and all they needed was a quarterback.
And Joe, to add one more thing with the Colts here, and Rich, is this team making that push right now. You make the trade for Buckner, you bring in Phillip Rivers. There's more work to be done. They need to go get some wide receiver help. And we've seen some wide receiver trades over the last 24 hours. I would not be shocked if they went that route or try and see what's left out there on the free agent market. Maybe somebody like a Robbie Anderson. But they've got to bring in some more weapons on the outside to really make a run at this thing this next year.
And I'm just scanning right now to see if the Indianapolis Colts play the Los Angeles Chargers in the 2020 season. And best I can tell is they do not. So that is something to keep an eye out for. Certainly, if it's just amazing. Is Michael Silver joining us now live on our free agent coverage? Michael, I mean, you can't make some of this stuff up. That Phillip Rivers is the one to go into the house that Peyton Manning built. His brother and he were the ones traded atop the 2004 draft, as we all know, and that the quarterback who may replace Phillip Rivers with the Chargers is actually Tom Brady. That is a possibility that is significant as you and I are talking right now. I wonder what your thoughts are on this news that Phillip Rivers is in fact going to Indianapolis.
Thanks, Rich. Well, first of all, congratulations to Judy Batista. Great job breaking that story. Phillip Rivers, as Joe said, did have a down year last year. And I don't know that I can just in my mind write that off necessarily, because I think Tom Brady has skewed all of our conventional wisdom. But Rich, you and I know that a lot of times when quarterbacks get older and drop off, they drop off pretty precipitously, and it happens fast. And so because Tom Brady freakishly at 42 was still playing at a very high level and plans to at 43, I believe more likely in Tampa than with the Chargers, but obviously nothing official on that front yet. But Phillip Rivers has to prove to the Colts and to the league that he is the guy who had the big year in 2018 up until that playoff defeat to Tom Brady in Foxborough, and not the guy that we saw for much of last season, which was super disappointing for the Chargers and caused them to reboot and go after Tom Brady. It is exciting on paper because Phillip Rivers has accomplished so much. It won't be subtle. Nobody talks more trash, albeit of the PG-13 rated variety. And it'll be fun to watch as, Rich, you and I continue to watch the quarterback dominoes fall in what's one of the wildest free agency periods, obviously amid much bigger things going on in the world.
Right, of course.